Could this be a 21st century take on the iconic black cab? Or perhaps this? Both are electric flying taxis competing to be the first in London. At the Farnborough Air Show, the airline Virgin Atlantic signed a deal to bring to the capital a revolutionary plane made by an American company called Joby Aviation.
We're going to be launching in the UAE later this year, in the US next year, and then the UK would be after that.
The Joby Air Taxi has been undergoing flight trials in the United States and recently flew in and around New York City. It can take off and land vertically, and because its propellers are powered by batteries, there are no emissions, making it far quieter than a conventional helicopter. Virgin thinks there's a market for journeys between central London and Heathrow Airport. Who's going to be able to afford to fly in these?
Look, this is going to be the pricing of roughly, say, an Uber exec, so the slightly more fancy Uber. That's where the pricing is roughly going to be. So we will hope that this will be available to many people in the future and will become a really accepted mode of transportation.
This is the British rival to the American plane. It's called the Valo and made by a company from Bristol called Vertical Aerospace. The prototype is the first of its kind to be allowed to fly at a British air show. The company's chief executive is a Londoner and convinced his plane will be in demand.
I live in southwest London. I had to get to northwest London. It took me 2 hours and 15 minutes to go about 15 miles. This would have done it in about 9 minutes. So this transforms urban transportation, urban mobility for people.
Instead of airports and heliports, the air taxis can take off and land from the top of multi-storey car parks. So what are the chances of being able to hail an air taxi in London anytime soon? Because no one has ever done this before, there are still some big hurdles for the plane makers and the airlines to overcome. The government and the Civil Aviation Authority need to be convinced electric air taxis are safe, but appear to be supportive.
Cutting our emissions as an aviation industry, both for noise, visually and pollution, hugely important if the industry is to continue to grow. So having devices like this that change that game is really important.
Flying taxis might once have seemed like science fiction, but they're on their way, and in Britain, London will be the first stop.